What if, for a season, you simply stopped telling people what you were doing and instead let your results speak for you? What if you withdrew from the noise, not out of defeat, but out of quiet confidence, and chose to build in silence while the world chattered? Imagine it. While others waste time explaining their plans, you quietly perfect yours. While they seek validation, you cultivate value. And when you finally emerge, your success speaks before you ever say a word. Most people talk because they crave attention. They want applause before they've earned it. They want recognition before they've built something worth recognizing. But those who rise to mastery know something others don't. Energy wasted on explanation is energy stolen from execution. The loud announce, the wise advance. This is not secrecy, it is strategy. The samurai said, move in silence. Speak only when it improves upon it. The Stoic philosophers echoed this truth. Epictetus warned, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. And so I say to you today, work in silence, refine in solitude, and let success make the noise. Because the loud impress for a moment, but the silent dominate for a lifetime. 1. Talking drains the power that builds you. Each time you talk about your dream, you drain the energy meant to create it. You receive a small rush of pride, a sense of progress, as if speaking about the goal were the same as achieving it. That is the mind's deception. Words are not work. Talk is not transformation. When you describe your dream, your brain releases satisfaction hormones, rewarding you as if you've already succeeded. That's why so many never move past the talking stage. Thomas Edison understood this. He didn't host meetings about the light bulb. He didn't post updates about his failures. He worked, for years, in silence, through thousands of trials. When the world finally saw his light, they never saw the darkness he labored through. Hold your excitement close. Protect it like fire in cold wind. Let that warmth fuel your action, not your conversation. The energy you waste explaining what you will do could be spent building what you will become. Let your silence turn into motion. Let your motion become mastery. Silence protects what is not yet ready. Your ideas are like seeds. They are fragile at first, soft and full of potential, but easily crushed by careless hands. When you share them too early, you invite judgment from people who cannot see what you see. They cannot imagine the forest inside your seed. You dig up your dream too soon to show others. And in doing so, you kill its roots. It needs darkness to grow. It needs solitude to strengthen. Abraham Lincoln often wrote speeches and letters he never sent. He poured his thoughts onto paper, then put them away in his desk drawer. Days later, he would read them again and see them differently. That distance, that silence, gave him wisdom. And when his words finally reached the public, they carried the power of reflection, not reaction. Keep your ideas in the workshop of your mind until they are strong enough to face the storm. When your vision has roots deep enough, then, and only then, should you let the world see its branches. 3. Others cannot kill what they cannot see. Every dream dies faster when exposed to the wrong people. Announce your vision too soon, and someone will tell you why it cannot work. They'll share their fears, not their faith. They'll say, be realistic, when they mean, I gave up. Marie Curie faced a world that doubted women's minds. She heard the whispers, the laughter, the condescension. She didn't debate them. She didn't fight for approval. She simply worked, quietly, faithfully, tirelessly, until the same world that mocked her handed her 2 Nobel Prizes. Her silence protected her belief. Yours can do the same. Let the world see results, not drafts. Let your victory make the noise, not your intentions. 4. Success speaks louder than promises. Talk is easy. The world is full of dreamers who never deliver. We've all heard the someday I'll, stories that fade into excuses. Promises impress people temporarily. Results impress them permanently. The Wright brothers didn't hold speeches about aviation. They built, tested, and crashed in private. And when they finally flew, the sky became their proof. No argument, no theory, no critic could deny the evidence of flight. A finished work ends all debate. A built bridge speaks louder than blueprints. A written book says more than a promise to write one. Let your work talk. Because no one can question what already exists. 5. Focus deepens in quiet. Distraction is the enemy of mastery, and most distractions come disguised as interest. The more people know your plans, the more they interrupt your progress. They ask for updates, they give advice you never asked for, and every conversation costs you minutes of deep focus. Beethoven, though deaf, composed symphonies that changed the world. His silence wasn't a limitation, it was liberation. He couldn't hear the noise of others. He could only hear the truth within. You too can create this silence. Turn off the chatter. Guard your mind like sacred ground. Enter the deep, uninterrupted hours where creativity flows and time disappears. That is where genius lives. 6. Talking creates the wrong pressure. When you announce your goals, you create an invisible audience. And soon, you stop building for yourself. You start performing for them. You rush to look productive. You fear looking foolish. You take shortcuts to seem successful. Henry Ford didn't show the world every failed prototype. He failed in private, he learned in private, and when he finally revealed the Model T, the world called him a visionary. True accountability belongs to your conscience, not to the crowd. Work for your own approval, not their applause. 7. Silence guards your energy. Some people take your energy and give nothing in return. They are not enemies, just empty. They feed on your enthusiasm because they have none of their own. You tell them your dream, and they say, "That's great." But when you leave, you feel drained, not inspired. A writer once stopped talking about their book. No updates, no details, just work. In 6 months, the book was finished. Before that, it had lingered for years. Silence stopped the leaks. Protect your energy. It's the fuel that powers your purpose. 8. Your journey belongs to you. You do not owe the world explanations for your path. Your dream is personal. Your lessons are yours alone. When you share every detail of your process, you turn your sacred journey into a performance. Your growth becomes theater. Emily Dickinson wrote 1-800 poems and shared fewer than 10 in her lifetime. She didn't write for praise, she wrote for truth. Her silence allowed her authenticity to flourish. Work for your soul, not for spectators, because growth is personal, progress is private, and peace belongs to those who stop performing. 9. Surprise multiplies impact. When the world sees every draft, the final masterpiece loses its magic. But when your work appears suddenly, perfectly, people are amazed. Harriet Tubman saved lives in silence. She told no one her plans because she couldn't risk their fear exposing her mission. Her silence made her unstoppable. Every success carries more power when it arrives unexpectedly. Build quietly, reveal boldly, let your results shock them into respect. 10. Comparison is the thief of progress. The moment you talk about your journey, you start comparing it to others. Someone is always ahead, someone always richer, faster, smarter. But you are not in their race. Vincent van Gogh painted alone, unknown, and uncelebrated. He sold one painting in his life. If he had compared himself to others, the world would never have seen Starry Night. When you work in silence, you only compete with yesterday's version of yourself. Did you grow today? Did you improve, even slightly? Then you are winning. Comparison steals joy. Silence gives it back. 11. Momentum builds behind closed doors. Beginnings are ugly. They are filled with mistakes, clumsy steps, and awkward progress. That is normal. That is how mastery starts. But if others are watching while you learn, their judgment can stop you too soon. The Wright brothers failed hundreds of times before success. Because no one was watching. They had the freedom to crash and rise again. Your private failures are your best teachers. Fail where no one can see. Practice until confidence replaces clumsiness. When you finally step into the light, you'll look like a natural. Because the world never saw your struggle. 12. Silence reveals true support. When you stop talking, the wrong people leave. They came for entertainment, not your evolution. The real ones remain. They believe in you without constant updates. They don't need proof to have faith. They simply trust your consistency. And when your success finally arrives, they celebrate genuinely. not because they're impressed, but because they're proud. Silence filters your circle. It leaves behind the loyal few, the ones who were never watching your journey but walking beside you. 13. Silence keeps your ego small. Talking feeds ego. Doing feeds growth. Ego whispers, "You've already made it." Growth whispers, "Keep going." Ernest Hemingway woke before dawn every morning to write alone. No bragging, no sharing, no distractions. He faced the blank page like a soldier faces battle, quietly, humbly. His sentences were short, sharp, and alive because his ego was silent while his work spoke. When you talk too much about your progress, you satisfy your ego too early. You feel proud before you've earned pride. That pride becomes poison. Silence is the antidote. It keeps you honest about how far you have left to go. It humbles you enough to keep learning. Let your work feed your confidence. Let your results feed your pride. And let your silence feed your soul. The law of the silent builder. Remember this truth: silence is not emptiness. It is power under control. It is the quiet forge where greatness is shaped. Every great man, every great woman, every empire of success was built in quiet seasons before it shone in public light. The roots of trees grow deepest in silence. The foundations of skyscrapers are laid in darkness. The diamond hardens in the pressure of secrecy, and the human spirit matures in solitude. So if life has called you into silence, do not fear it. It is not punishment. It is preparation. While others talk, you are transforming. While they seek attention, you are gaining strength. And when the day comes for you to rise, you will not need to announce it. Your results will announce you. The loud impress for a moment, but the silent dominate for a lifetime. So stop explaining. Start advancing. Let your silence roar.